Hey everyone, it's Elise coming to you today with another video, and today I want to talk to you about the issue that I have with car payments and that I wish that a lot more people had them, because in reality, I feel that car payments keep us poor, particularly in America. I don't know how other countries work, but in America, there is a sense of consumerism that is borderline toxic if it's not already in the toxic category. Most people feel like cars are a way of life, and they are in America. However, I think most people think that having a car payment has to be a way of life, and it actually does not have to be. And when I kind of talk about that in my everyday life, not that I talk about it every day, but when I do talk about it once in a while with somebody, they seem a little perturbed that I feel like they are not part of everyday life, and that you can indeed just drive the car that you have and be fine with it. So according to the latest data from Edmunds.com, which Edmunds.com is a car purchasing tool that you can use to get the latest information on consumer reports on each car model when it comes out every year. And they also do research about like the trends in car payments and car prices and whatnot. And the average car price for a new car is $730. I don't know what the used car payment would be. That'd probably be a little bit less. But if you wanted a new car, the average person driving around in their new car is paying $730 a month. And that's like insane to me. I remember it used to be like $300, $400, maybe $500. And if it was a luxury car, $1,000. But $730 a month is not for a luxury car. It's for the average car. And the average car to purchase it new is $49,000. So that's not like a little bit of money. That's not a dent in your pocket of $20,000. It's more than double $20,000 if you wanted to purchase a car. So it's just very scary to me that we as Americans think that your car payment has to be that much, and that's just a normal part of life. And actually, 1 in 6 people have a car payment of $1,000 a month, and so that's probably a nicer car than the average middle car. But $1,000 a month could be somewhat, maybe not someone's rent, because renting your living quarters is a lot more than $1,000, unfortunately, but that's still a lot of money, and it could be better placed on a roof over your head or investing it somewhere. So yeah, that is crazy. And then in addition to that, the payments, not lease, financing terms, they're no longer 48 months like I remember they used to be. They are 60 months, or which I remember they used to be too, but they're more like 72 months, and then what would be after that, 84. So the amount of interest you pay when your terms are as long as 72 and 84 months is astronomical compared to if it would have been if you were paying for 48, 36, or 60. So we're in a dire situation right now if people think that it's normal to pay $730 a month for a car payment, or that they should be in debt to pay the car for 6 to 7 years. And that's on a new car. Some people are doing that on old cars. So if you have a car that you're buying that's 4 years old and you're going to go into debt for 7 years, what happens if the car breaks down? And cars are depreciating assets. They don't get better with time, they only get worse. So it's just like kind of scary where things are going financially and people thinking that it's normal. Now, mind you, those numbers that I just talked about, if you were to put that into a broad market index fund and have it invested for 8% average for 30 years, that $730 payment would turn out to be $992,000. And if you were that 1 in 6 that did $1,000 a month, that money at 8% in 30 years in a broad market index fund would turn into $1.4 million. So that's why I think there's an issue in thinking that it's normal for us to have car payments, because we don't take time to think about, well, what could we do with that money for a car payment? I'm not saying that you should never have a car payment, because I've had 2 in my life. And they are necessary. They are necessary parts of life, because if you don't have a car, 9 times out of 10, you are an American that needs a car to go to work. So it's a good investment, but you don't have to, once it's done, you don't have to go and get another one or think that you're just resolute. I met somebody at my job that was just resolute. He was gonna have a car payment, just set aside $500 a month. This was a while ago. And he was okay with just always having $500 a month, because he always wanted to update his car, and that's just how life is going to be. And he would not listen or be open to thinking like, oh no, you don't need that. You don't need a car that's 3 to 5 years old or new throughout your lifetime. It's possible, but imagine what you could be doing with that money. For instance, if you don't have a payment, you can, number one, create generational wealth, right? $1 million sounds nice. It is a slow way to create generational wealth. It's not a get rich quick scheme, but sure way, the most sure way that is available at the moment, is put that $500, $700, $1,000 into an index fund and let it grow for 30 years. So once you're done with making, you say you buy your first car, okay, I'll let this car last as long as it can. Maybe not 20 years, but maybe 10 to 12 years. My money could be going somewhere else. You can go on vacations. You can prepare to quit your job. You can save a 3 to 6 month savings amount. You could, what else could you do? You could, if you want to buy a house, put some money towards a down payment. Or if you wanted to buy a second house, you already got one car, you already have one house. I could either buy another car, or I can keep the car that I have and put some money into an investment property or some other investment vehicle, which will appreciate over time versus buying another car that depreciates over time. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of put it in the zeitgeist that it's not necessarily a requirement to have a car payment. You do probably need a car, but the car payment, not necessarily. And the next car that I plan to get, it would only be probably as needed. Let's say I have an extra $1,200 a month. I don't know when that's going to happen, but then I would do $600 to a car payment and $600 to an investment account. That's the only way I'm going to do it. I'm never going to be putting money into a car payment that I'm not putting into some type of investment monthly. Another thing, actually, the big flex is I would like to get a business car. The car that I have right now is good, and I have seen people drive this car till they're like 25 years old, and I'm not even at 10 yet. I'm closer to 10, but I'm not there yet. So there's a part of me that's like, can you drive this car till it's 25? That would be awesome. And there's a part of me that wants to not have a car at all. A few months ago, I was thinking, I seriously thought, like, can I make this happen? Because I have a serious personal problem with my car insurance. Car insurance seems to go up every year. Anybody who knows me knows I do not like that because this is a depreciating asset. Why is it going up? But that is another story for another day. However, I thought about it, but in South Florida, it's not feasible for me. I'd probably have to move to like a downtownish neighborhood, and I don't want to do that. And you need a car in South Florida. There's a lot of highways. Things are not far, but they are far if you don't have a car. You have to drive an highway. There's no way out of it yet. So while I'm hustling to try to start this new chapter in my life, I'm gonna need a car. But, I'm not gonna say in like maybe 5 to 10 years when I do decide to upgrade and I do have a condo in the middle of Fort Lauderdale, or not Miami, probably Fort Lauderdale though. You don't need a car there. Everything I need is right there. There's an issue of flooding though, because right now it's a mess and it's raining, but that's besides the point. There's always cons and pros with every decision that you're making. But yeah, I just wanted to stop by and say, like, car payments, the car payments part, they are not part of life that we're just stuck with. They're part of life for a moment, but they're not a lifetime thing. And it might behoove all of us as Americans to start thinking that way, and that we don't have to, every time we have money, it doesn't have to go into somebody else's pocket. We can keep it right here and try to invest it in our own pocket for another day. All right, thank you guys so much. Drop down in the comments if you agree with me or if you don't agree with me. I would like to know. Most people probably think that they need the payments, but I'm curious to know, do you agree with me? Do you think that payments are just a part of life, or they can be put into something else more beneficial for you in your future? All right, until next time, talk to you later.